Hey friends, Tashin here. I want to talk about nonverbal expression. Uh, there's an experiment I've been doing recently about expressing myself nonverbally, and I want to talk to you about that. I'm going to try and do it while I talk to practice. But first, I'll tell you some backstory, which is that I had this one tutor at St. John's when I went to St. John's College in Annapolis, Maryland. I had this one tutor who would really gesticulate a lot. And not only would he gesticulate when he was speaking, he even would gesticulate more when other people were speaking. He would use, I never heard him speak about it, but I watched him constantly in the seminar I had with him, where he would be listening intently to what other people say, and he would make motions that I believe I interpreted as helped him to embody what they were saying so that he could understand it and internalize it and then respond or just digest it to follow the conversation, that helped him stay active and really participatory even if he wasn't speaking. I don't know what his experience was. I never asked him. I never heard him speak about it, but he was constantly gesticulating, and not only when he was speaking, but when other people were speaking, he would sort of pull in what they were saying, and you know, he did in kind of a reserved way, more than some of the motions I've made so far, but that made an impact on me, and it was sort of a breadcrumb or a clue that I later came back to, and I don't remember quite what cued this recently, but something made me think about it, and maybe I was having a hard time listening in some conversations, or maybe it was something else. I don't remember exactly, but I decided to try it where I wanted to express myself more and practice communicating nonverbally. Oh, that's actually what it was. Yes, it was also that I was having trouble concentrating in some conversations when people are talking, so I was like, oh, it'll help me if I gesticulate when they talk. But actually the other thing that was more pressing was I was doing some experiments communicating non-verbally with people, where there were a couple of friends where I tried having conversations entirely non-verbally. So just things like that for 20 minutes. And really they had this sense of actual conversation where there was information being exchanged, and I couldn't tell you necessarily what was happening in a verbal conceptual way, but it was like I was feeling into things that I was feeling and thinking and communicating those with my body, and then I was receiving things from the other person where it's like, okay, I can't translate this into concepts, but something was exchanged or understood or processed through that experience. I was like, wow, that's really powerful. And because I had that experience, I was like, I want to do that more often, but combine it with my words. I really feel like my words are my core gift, and such a big part of my vow is to speak my mind and to share my mind through words. But I wanted to bring in this power of nonverbal communication and, practice it. And really this is a stance that I've had towards conversations or expressing myself in these videos, where it's useful to have available. And I don't necessarily do it in every conversation, but it's been useful to practice and sprinkle in, to let myself express myself more non-verbally, to have that available as an option, and to weave that into my life where it's part of how I communicate. It's part of how I communicate, both, again, when I speak, but it's also been useful to practice when other people are speaking, and I really want to make sure I follow what they're saying, or I'm getting a little bit distracted, or I just feel like what they're saying is really important, and I'm receiving it. And sometimes, I don't know, maybe sometimes people find it distracting or confusing or weird, but sometimes I think people feel really seen by it, where they're like, they can tell that I'm receiving what they say. And in fact, there's sort of two-directional communication happening when I allow myself to do this, where it's hard to describe, but the ideas get transmitted more quickly, and there's this sense of, okay, it's really being heard and digested, and okay, we can move on to the next thing. And there's this vibrant dynamism of interpersonal connection that's possible when it's not just words that are being exchanged back and forth. It's a dance. It's a flowing, intimate exchange that's beyond just information or concepts or words. It's really encountering someone and being encountered and having that happen simultaneously. It's two people coming right up against each other, dancing with one another, encountering, being encountered, having a catalytic transformation happen where what one person has is received by the other, and what that person has is offered to the other, and something larger comes out. So I have enjoyed doing this. It's also just fun. It's fun. I'm all about fun, and it's fun to use my body while I'm speaking. It's fun to use my body while I'm listening, and it makes it more full. It makes it more full-bodied. It's not just that I'm still and just listening, but to really receive and to really share. So I don't know. I've been having fun with this. I'm not doing it 100% of the time. I may not do it 100% of the time forever, but it's been fun to experiment with and to use in my vocabulary and kind of like bring in as an option that I have available. I'd be curious to hear what your experience of communicating nonverbally has been like, either in verbal conversations or just alone. Feel free to share in the comments. And in the meantime, sending you love.